Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I thought I would share with you my baby's routine. He is now 11 months old, but this routine would suit a baby from 9 months to 12 months, so up to a year. And I thought I would do this. It hasn't changed loads since my last routine video, but this has been requested and there are a couple of changes. So I thought it's worth doing because I've made a series of different baby routines. If you have a different aged baby, I have done baby routines from 3 to 6 months and also from 6 to 9 months. So this is the next one in the series and I will just start. Jackson is also not joining me for this video because, as you can imagine, now that he is 11 months old, he does not want to sit still and be in a video with me. So I will just do this on my own. I'm really lucky that Jackson sleeps through the night pretty well. I put him to bed at about 6:30 p.m. and he will normally go straight through till 6:30 a.m. Today it was actually 7 a.m. so it's normally between 6:30 and 7. The first thing I do when he wakes up is feed him. I'm still breastfeeding, so I will feed him some milk and then I will also change his nappy. Then I will take him downstairs and get his breakfast ready. And his breakfast is typically porridge, like baby porridge with some baby puree in it. And while I'm getting that ready, I will give him some finger food to eat. So that may be some fruit. He loves strawberries. He loves watermelon at the moment because of the summer. Or I can sometimes give him a piece of his brother's toast and he will munch on the toast. He loves that. And then sometimes at breakfast, I'll also give him some yogurt. And then once he's finished and I get him all cleaned up, I will put him onto the play mat to play with some toys. And then when it gets to about 9 a.m, you can see he's starting to get tired. He will start rubbing his eyes and ears and yawning sometimes. So he can only really stay awake for 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours at the most before he needs his morning nap. So I'll just take him upstairs and he sleeps in a sleeping bag. So whenever he has a nap or goes to bed, I will put him in this sleeping bag. And I think because I always do that, it's a real signal for you're going to sleep now. Like, we're not going into his room for any other reason. So I will put him into his sleeping bag, give him his blanket. He has become very attached to this one blanket of his, so that I'm guessing that is going to be his comforter. I'll put him in his crib and he will kind of rub the blanket on his face like this and get himself off to sleep. Normally he's quite good at self-settling, but if he's teething or he's upset, I will have to give him a little bit of a rock and a cuddle before he goes down for a nap. And in that nap, he will sleep for either an hour to 2 hours. And I love that nap so much. I'm actually dreading it finishing because he goes down at 9 for an hour and it gives me a chance to get ready. It gives me a chance to tidy up after everyone's had breakfast. And I really love that nap. I know I'm gonna miss it so much. When Jackson reaches a year and over, I'm assuming that he will push that nap further and further and be able to stay awake until about 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. And then have just one big nap. At 10 a.m. when he wakes up, I'll change his nappy if he needs a new nappy, and then I will bring him downstairs and offer him a snack. I give my older children a snack at about this time anyway, so it works really well. And I'm now offering him a beaker with water in it, and he really seems to like drinking from a beaker. So he'll have that and then he'll have a snack, which is normally the same as his brothers, like breadsticks and cheese. And then we will get out for the day because he will be wide awake from 10 a.m. to about 12:30. He can sometimes even go till 1 now, but that's a really good time for us to get out of the house, to run errands, to see friends, to have friends over, go to the park. So we do stuff in those hours. And then when it gets to about 11:30, you can tell he is getting hungry. So I will normally start his lunch at 11:30 or 12, and he will typically have some sandwiches. Like, I like to smush some sandwiches, like quite small, but he does really well with eating those. He'll also maybe have a fruit puree pouch and maybe some vegetable sticks, something like that. And then he will go down for his second nap of the day, which is normally at about 12:30. That second nap of the day he will either have in his cot if he's at home, or he will have it in his buggy if we are out and about. Because he's my third son, he kind of has to be adaptable. So even if we're in the car, he'll have it in the car. He can kind of have that nap anywhere and do really well with that. But he'll sleep from about 12:30 till 2. So it's normally an hour to an hour and a half. Then from 2 p.m. till bedtime, he is awake. So again, we can do some stuff at this time. We can go out, we can see friends, etc. Every now and then he still needs a feed at about 3 p.m. If he wants to have a breastfeed or some milk, I will feed him myself, or have also started introducing cow's milk to him. You normally introduce it from a year, but I started at 10 months. My doctor said that that was okay, but obviously check yourself. But he was kind of ready. At about 4:30, I will start Jackson's dinner. He will eat at this time because that is when his brothers eat. So at 4:30, I'll put him in the high chair and get his food. He will typically have something like mashed potato or sweet potato mash, and he loves to eat peas and sweet corn now. He's really quite good at that pincer grip and eating it. And then after dinner, I will normally start the bath at about 5:45 to 6 p.m. It just depends how he's doing on the day, because sometimes at 5:30 or 5:45 he is so tired that it's really difficult to keep him awake. So a good solution is always the bath. So he is normally in the bath at that time. He absolutely loves bath time as well, so that will perk him up if he is really tired. Yeah, and then once he's out of the bath, I will get him all ready for bed, and I will offer him a beaker of cow's milk, again just to like give him a little bit, because I am slowly starting to wean him off of me. And then at about 6:30, I will go into his room, dim the lights, put him in his baby sleeping bag, and then feed him myself, and then I will put him down sleepy but awake. And that is the key, I think, to get them to sleep through the night. They kind of have to get themselves off to sleep in their own bed. So that is what we do. He is asleep by about 6:45, 7 p.m. every night. And yeah, he does really well with this routine. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and if yours is any different, or if you have any other tips, I would love to hear them. And yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.